for another live session, and we're just getting set up. So we'll give Facebook and YouTube and TikTok a minute, and looks like we're ready to go live on Facebook. So we'll just go live there. We are live on Instagram and live on TikTok. Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. We are live for another session. Just make sure I'm live everywhere. Okay, cool. I believe we're live on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm looking at the Facebook feed and it's looking a little bit grainy. I know on TikTok we are going to be a little bit grainy today because we're on the iPad. So Instagram I think will be the cleanest feed for everyone. YouTube as well. Yeah, welcome everyone. We're in Shanghai today. So apologies that we are later than scheduled. Um, had some consultations that were overrunning, some out of hours consultations. So we never stop a consultation halfway through. So that's why I was overrunning. And then fighting the VPN to try and be able to go live on all the platforms as well. So, um, yes, today we are going to be talking about sugar, the truth about sugar. It's a big topic, and we'll probably end up, breaking it down into shorter sessions as well. But a super important session, the truth about sugar. So much information online about sugar. I see so many different social media videos. Even I've read different books which I disagree with pretty fundamentally. So, yes, sugar, none the yes, sugar. Hello in Australia. I'm not sure what time it is there. I guess not too far. Oh, it'd be like 4 a.m. in Australia, right? Sorry? Yeah, 4 a.m. Thank you for joining at this time. So, yeah. Oh, cool. Thank you, King Lita. Um, so yeah, we're going to be talking about sugar today. We're going to be breaking down the different types of sugar. We're going to be breaking down some myths. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting one. We're probably going to end up going on some interesting tangents as well. Hey, Nissa. Um, that stuff almost messed me up only learning about yeah, so yeah, I mean lots of comments coming in about the sugar, so hopefully it's an interesting session for everyone. Hopefully someone will well, I mean we all eat sugar in some form or another, so you should definitely learn something today. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it since we can see we're up and running. Instagram's looking strong, Facebook is here as well. TikTok getting up and running, so yeah, as I get into it people will join there as well. So cool, let's get into it. And also we've got there's a nice international diversity today. So we've got some Jamaica presents, we've got some Australia presents, UK as always, we've got some US. So cool, a nice international session today. Hopefully we get lots of questions coming in as well. Guys, I'm gonna apologize from now. It's been a long day. We had a flight at 10 p.m. last night, arrived into Shanghai at 4 a.m., got a few hours of sleep, walked around Shanghai all day, and then, yeah, had 3 hours of consultations. But, we said we was going to do a live, so we're on live with 2 hours delayed, so it's 1:30 here, but we are still going to give it as much energy as we can. But I'm just getting my apologies out from now, just in case the energy's lacking, or if I start to flag, or if I need to call this one early. But we don't let that stop us. Amazing. Let's get into it. So we're going to start with some housekeeping as always. A few exciting updates just to let you guys aware of. Um, we've also got Jade here as well. I didn't mention. So Jade will be. I don't know if Jade's in the chat because we're having to use all of our resources to even make this live happen. The VPN is an absolute. You know what? I don't even want to say too much just in case there is some people observing us. So yeah, the Jade is not going to be in the chat today, so I'm going to do my best to man the chat. But Jade is. Oh, Jade's going to get on camera, so cool.
One.
But yeah, housekeeping points. So yeah, I think I mentioned this on the live on Thursday. We have had our first hire, which is super exciting. So Amy has joined the team. She will be starting from this week. So if you see a new name in our emails or in our inbox or on Instagram or anywhere, That's Amy, so be sure to give her a warm welcome. Um, and oh, Pam said, "Hey Jade." So that's exciting. We've also secured the order for the new herbs for the kidney kit as well. So that will be coming in on its way, and hopefully we'll be able to get that launched before the end of January, I want to say, optimistically. Yeah, let's push it to the end of January. So hopefully the kidney kit will be coming in soon. That's been super high in demand. So many questions about that. So super excited to launch that one. Well, I'll also be, now hopefully a bit more stable. The last couple of weeks have been moving around a lot, every couple of days. So hopefully now in Shanghai, then moving to Seoul, but hopefully a bit more stability. So I'll be able to get the joint kit launched. We'll be able to get the autoimmune kit launched as well. So that's going to be a kit targeted for eczema, fibromyalgia, MS, scleroderma, lots of different issues. We're going to have probably a brain kit, a skin kit. Yeah, that's how I'm thinking to do it. But that will be launched this week as well. Hey, from Seattle as well. So yeah, great to see the international coverage. Um, Eritrea, Nadia, we are getting started. We always do some housekeeping first. Okay. Um, Anything else on the housekeeping front? I think that's it. We'll also be doing some giveaways today as well. So if you are, that's definitely worth sticking around for. We'll be doing two giveaways today as well. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to be talking about sugar today, like I said. And to start off the conversation, let's break down what sugar is, because even what sugar is a misunderstood concept. Or one prominent notion, and I think I'm just going to say who it is because there's no point hiding it because she stands behind it proudly. The glucose goddess will say, and a lot of people have come to me and said, oh, I heard this, I heard this, I heard this, and it's something I find the need to put right constantly. So I'm just going to say it here. Um, all sugar is the same. That's the myth. All sugar is the same. And the reason why people die, the reasons why organs fail, the reasons why people get dementia is because of sugar. Sugar rusts, and then that rusting, if it happens in the heart, it's atherosclerosis. If it's or in the blood vessels, it's atherosclerosis. If it happens in the liver, it's liver disease. If it happens in the brain, it is dementia. If it happens in the pancreas, it's diabetes. If it happens, lots of different places, there'll be lots of different conditions, and that's the myth that's perpetuated in terms. Well, I say the myth because in that statement, all sugar, well, all sugar is the same is wrong, but um, fiber is sugar. Um, Starch is sugar, glucose is sugar, fructose is sugar, fruit is sugar. That is all true. That's a true statement. It is all sugar. Um, Sugar causes rusting. Again, or rusting inside the body. Oxidative stress would be the term. That is reductive, but true. And then if you say that oxidative stress causes cancer, it causes dementia and all the other issues, again, that is a true statement. However, it lacks all nuance and practicality. To me, it's the same as saying, you know, if you had if let's say your body is a company, and then you say, well, all everybody in the company is a worker. All workers are the same. Everybody works. Yes, that's true. They're all workers. We have to pay all workers a salary. Yes, that's true. If the company runs out of money, the business goes bust. So paying a salary loses money. All of these things would be true, but that would be reductive because with that rationale, it would make sense to hire no workers, have no employees, and then you won't have to pay anyone anything, and then your risk of losing that money reduces, so then the risk of going bust reduces. This logic is you can make it logical, but it doesn't make it make sense. Rather than having all workers aren't the same. Yes, all workers demand a salary, but all workers aren't the same. Some workers will contribute to the company, some workers will not contribute to the company, some workers will be a drain, some workers will work better in different environments, some workers will thrive in a or pick other workers up in a bad environment, some workers will fail in a bad environment. But we can't just say all workers is the same. And it's the same here. We can't say all sugar is the same. Fiber does not do the same job as glucose. Fructose does not do the same job as glucose. If the environment in which the fructose is present will change how it operates in the body. If it's with antioxidants, it operates different to how refined sugar will operate. Brown sugar is not the same as white sugar. Honey is not the same as even agave syrup. There's so many different types of, even soluble fiber does not operate the same as insoluble fiber. So there's so many different types of sugar or workers. It's so reductive to just say, well, they all cause rusting. It's so reductive to just say, well, they all do the same thing, and we need to avoid all of them. Um, that's why I disagree with the glucose goddess with that statement. Maybe I mean, I've read a book, so I'm not even going to say maybe I'm taking that out of context because I have read the book, and that is essentially the point. Or I guess her point is we can reduce how that sugar is consumed, or we can change how that sugar is absorbed by doing some simple tips. And I'm not even denying her experience because her experience is based off her own kind of healing journey from her own personal experiences. So no one can deny that. What I am saying is when you try and extrapolate that to your own situation, when you try and use that advice on your own life, it can be more harmful than good for a lot of people, especially if you're dealing with chronic health issues. And when I say chronic health issues, I mean diabetes, I mean thyroid issues, I mean anemia, I mean MS, I mean, even simple things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol. The rules don't apply for you the same. So the point I'm saying is, I'm just reading some comments at the same time. So Sade, I think it's Sade. I think you've been here before. So I was so scared to have loads of fruit because of this, and I'm gonna get into that as well. I'm gonna get into the fruit, but look, when we get into the section of this session talking about ranking different foods, I'll be able to go into more detail about why different fruits and foods are absorbed in different ways. Um, I kind of want to keep this section to understanding why all sugar is not the same. High fructose corn syrup is not the same as fructose. Um, even when we're talking about glucose, the glucose that will be in blueberries is not the same as the glucose that will be in pasta or starch. Because something breaks down into glucose, that doesn't mean it's the same as if something is naturally high in glucose. Um, Dextrose, sucrose, maltodextrin, these are all types of sugar. What we can do is essentially group refined sugars or processed sugars. So when you're looking at the back of a packet of any food, if you're seeing sucrose, if you're seeing dextrose, if you're seeing high fructose corn syrup, so HFCS, if you're seeing maltodextrin, if I didn't already say that, anything that ends in ose, because it's not just dextrose and sucrose, there's lots of different other oses that will be much longer names as well. That will all be a form of refined sugar, and that should be avoided. If you are seeing, you're in the back of a packet and you see, fructose. Generally, if you're getting fructose from something on the back of a packet, that's going to be in its refined form because fructose is naturally occurring in fruit. If you are seeing fiber, then that's different. Fiber is, we'll get into it. I don't want to go into every single form of sugar at the outset, otherwise we'll go off in all sorts of tangents. But it's important to understand all these things are different, and even maybe I'll just explain using that work analogy. You know, if you're talking about fiber, Fiber helps the other workers get to where they need to be. It's almost like HR, the front desk. Where you going today, and let me help you get there, and let me make that journey nice and smooth. If we're talking about glucose, that's the workhorse. Glucose has all the energy and just wants to work, work, work. But if you don't give it the right direction, if it hasn't got the right employees around it, it's probably going to cause more harm than good. It's disruptive. It's gonna mess things up. Fructose is probably, that's the young imagine that young talent in the organization that doesn't even need that much man management. They just find a way to contribute. That's what fructose is. The more fructose you kind of have, the better. You don't need to worry about fructose. It doesn't burden the system. It doesn't require that insulin. It can find its way into your cells. It helps to produce ATP. So again, it contributes to output. So that's what that fructose is. If we're talking, dextrose, if we're talking sucrose, these are the employees that don't want to be there. They're the ones that complain every Sunday evening about work tomorrow. As soon as they get home, they complain about work the next day. All the time they're in the office, they're just complaining about work. Dextrose is unproductive. It never wanted to be there in the first place. It but it found itself there. It's causing stress. It's causing oxidative stress in the body. It's causing stress in the workplace. Um, Starch is probably, starch is a type of worker. If you don't give it too much work, it's going to be fine. It's going to get on with it. It's not going to complain, and it's not going to cause too much problems. When you have too many starches in the work, or when you have too many starches in your workforce, then it can become unproductive. Then they start to get lazy. Then they start to, when there's glucose present, then it can start to give the glucose bad habits. You don't want too much starch. So, that's how you kind of want to think about the sugar in your system. Everything has a role, and it's not to say, obviously, as I said, the dextrose, the maltodextrin, the sucrose, we don't want any of that. We don't really need any of that. Your body can survive with it, but it doesn't thrive with it. So we don't want too much of that. But the fructose, the glucose, even the starch, the fruit that's in green vegetables, these all more than have a place in your body. We don't need to be limiting these to zero. Even if you do have diabetes, we do not need to be limiting these to zero. The sugar in root vegetables, we do not need to be limiting that to zero. And that's an important distinction that we need to make as well. So, as I say, hopefully that clarifies and helps debunk some of the myths and misinformation that you will have been privy to. I'm sure if you've looked into it, most definitely. If you haven't, you've probably just heard about some of that misinformation. But hopefully that breaks it down a little bit for you. Um, okay, Jade, I think it's giveaway time. Let's reward people who have been here to get through this one, and then we'll do another one later on. Um, so yeah, Jade, I'll let Jade spin the wheel and see where we get to with the with the giveaway. But yeah, whilst Jade's doing that,
We're not spinning anymore, we're just doing giveaway.
yeah, whilst we're doing that, I'm going to talk about three biggest mistakes, and Jade, just interject me when you're ready. The three the three biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to sugar. So, I mean, there's so many mistakes. I could probably spend another whole hour talking just about this. But the first thing I would say is a lot of people make the mistake of starting their day with starch. Now, that sounds quite innocuous, but it surprises me, or it not even surprises me. Something I've noticed is more accurate to say. When I have consultations, I'm speaking to people every day, and I ask them, so what does your breakfast look like? And almost everyone says, well, I start the day with sourdough bread. Facebook. I
Mm.
start the day with sourdough bread, and it's interesting because sourdough bread on the surface is definitely healthier than regular bread. A lot of, and I said it's not that surprising because a lot of health pages, a lot of blogs will recommend it um, as kind of a less glutinous source of bread. But the problem is it's still starch. It still breaks down into sugar. And while sourdough bread may be better than King's Mill white bread, it still breaks down into starch. And the problem with starch is it essentially breaks down into glucose, but it's quite a draining, energetic way for your body to have to produce that glucose. It sits quite heavy in the stomach, so you don't actually feel great on it. And this is to a lesser extent with sourdough bread. I'm talking regular bread. I'm talking people that start the day with pasta. I'm talking people that start the day with rice. You know, all of these things will cause you to be sluggish at first, and then it causes you to produce glucose. But because your stomach is still quite heavy, you don't really get the energy from the glucose. And then because it's quite instant release glucose, because it's in, or yeah, instant release glucose because there's no fiber buffering it, then it hits your bloodstream quite quickly. Which, if it hits your bloodstream quickly, it's going to crash quickly. Then, when it crashes, then you feel tired again. So, because you never really got to enjoy the way up, you then crash on the way down, and then you get cravings and hunger, and then you have to go back and eat something again fairly soon. Um, that's the reason I don't recommend starch for breakfast. Now, there's lots of other things you can do for breakfast, and this kind of brings me to mistake number two, which would be people aren't eating for their metabolic state. And let me break that down because that's quite a complex thing. People aren't eating for their metabolic state. You know, if you're someone who is diabetic, you will need to eat someone different to someone who has a thyroid issue. You will need to eat different to someone else who has anemia. You will need to eat different to someone else who has an adrenal issue. Will need to eat different to someone else who has a cortisol issue. Now, I guess I'm not going to break down every single one of those diets, but you need to understand what your metabolic state needs. So, if you're someone who is diabetic, you still need glucose because you still want your liver to give you glycogen in the morning, but you don't want a blood sugar spike. So, you don't want starch. You don't want even you don't mute that. You don't really want a green juice. You don't necessarily want to do loads of juicing in the morning because that is going to hit your blood sugar quite intensely. You don't necessarily you don't want to be doing loads of fats in the morning. What you'd want to be doing is mixing the sugar and the fat. So something like Brazil nuts and or nuts and nuts, seeds, honey would be a great breakfast for you because you're getting the glucose from the honey, but you're getting the fats from the nuts and the seeds, which means the fats is going to buffer that blood sugar. It's going to slow it down. It's going to give you still get the sugar. You're still going to be nourishing your liver with high quality glucose, which means it's going to produce the glycogen and give you the energy, but you're not punishing it. Now, if you're someone who is adrenal fatigued, it's similar, but you want to up the fats more. It's more sensitive. So therefore, you probably want to be even lower with the glucose. So you probably want to be more avocado, things like that. You definitely want to avoid coffee. Whereas if you're diabetic, coffee isn't as bad. It's not great, but it's not as bad. If you're someone with let's say, a thyroid issue, again, you probably want to follow that same adrenal diet because you want to be calmer hormonally. If you're someone who has gut dysbiosis, or you have a methylation issue, or a bacterial issue, or SIBO, or H. pylori, or something like that, then you probably want to be starting the day with more green leafy vegetables. You want to start that detox process nice and early. Now, again, we kind of just get caught up in this word healthy. Oh, what's a healthy breakfast? I get asked that question all the time. What's a healthy breakfast? And I always say I can't answer that question because healthy to you is completely different to healthy from someone else. Healthy means what's going to bring you back to your best state of health. and your health is not the same as any other person on the planet because you have your own set of bacteria, of viruses, of DNA, of methylation issues, of mineral deficiencies, of nutrient deficiencies, of liver issues, all these different things you have that are particularly unique to you, you know. So you can't just take this blanket approach of, oh, that's the best breakfast. That's the healthiest breakfast. And the amount of times I speak to people and I mean, literally the question just come in. What's the best breakfast? Just tea. I have with a little milk. Look, the best breakfast for you means what are your issues? If you have, I mean, just tea and I have it with a little bit of milk, that cannot be the best breakfast because the best breakfast would need to have all of the healing nutrients, all of the supportive nutrients that you need for your conditions. The problem is tea doesn't really have any nutrients in it, so no one's going to be optimized just on tea with a little bit of milk. Milk doesn't help anyone. So that I can tell you that's not the best breakfast, but I can't necessarily tell you what is your best breakfast because I'd need to know a lot more about what you're specifically solving for. The best breakfast for a bodybuilder might be 10 burgers and a protein shake. Fine. But that doesn't mean it's the healthiest breakfast. So, and yeah, so Ray for A, R for A, and I'm butchering that one. But how do you know what's the best breakfast for you? And again, this is where the consultation is super helpful because, I mean, or if you put your situation in the chat, then I can kind of give you a high level. But it's very nuanced, and there isn't a blanket answer to that question because, as I said, if you have diabetes, your ideal breakfast will be different to someone who has a thyroid issue, who has Crohn's, who has anxiety. So, yes, Jade.
So, I have adrenal issues. So maybe speak to like a specific breakfast for me and adrenal issues that you would recommend, because someone might be able to relate to that.
Yeah, so if you have adrenal issues, and essentially what that means, you're stressed, or you wake up flat and you maybe can't sleep very well, or you wake up flat and you get more kind of amped up or ready to go in the evenings when you're supposed to be winding down. Or maybe you are super sensitive to stress, you can't handle stress very well. These would all be examples of being adrenally fatigued. If that is you, then I would say you want to start the day with avocado and fruit, nuts, so granola with seeds and coconut yogurt, something like that. That would be a fantastic way to start the day because you're supporting your adrenal glands with fat and high quality glucose. You probably want some potassium in there as well, some magnesium in there as well. So that's where the avocado is useful. That's where you might want to add in some, I mean, that's where the seeds are really useful as well to get those nutrients, those minerals. So that's what I would say for someone who is adrenally fatigued. Stay off the sugar. Sorry, stay off the coffee, stay off the matcha, stay off anything that's going to spike that caffeine in the morning, dysregulate that cortisol. If you're someone who's highly sensitive to green juices as well, they can be high in oxalates. I wouldn't even necessarily do that. Recommend doing that early in the morning either. Um, and I saw a comment that came in and said multigrain Cheerios. Now, multigrain Cheerios, I haven't checked Cheerios in a while, but I don't really recommend any child's cereal, to be honest. They're fortified with with synthetic minerals and nutrients, which I do not recommend because they're just bulk produced synthetic. If you most children will have that cereal with milk as well, which I do not recommend. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend cereal as the healthiest breakfast for anyone. Um, that's healthiest for an athlete who is also narcoleptic. So I didn't actually answer the last one. So if you're a child, what I would say is a better breakfast for a child would be depends what their issue is, right? Most children will be fine eating cereal. So I'm not saying if you don't eat the best breakfast possible, you'll keel over and die. I'm not saying that at all. I guess what I am saying is if you are sick, if you do have an issue, you do want to be more sensitive. So there's millions of children out there who eat Cheerios every day and are absolutely fine. So I'm not saying it's going to kill your child. I'm just saying it is, if they do have an issue, if they are autistic, if they have gut dysbiosis, if they are showing early signs of anything, if they're dealing with acute issues anywhere, then you do want to be more sensitive with that, and you probably do want to come off the cereal. If you are an athlete who is narcoleptic, so I was answering that. If you're an athlete who is narcoleptic, I've got a bit of scarf in my mouth, then you want to be eating to avoid heavy metals. You want to support brain detox early in the morning, which means more berries. You want to do mangoes in the morning. You probably want to have your walnuts to support the brain as well. You Sorry? Oh,
Celery juice.
celery juice would also be beneficial for that as well. If you're an athlete, you do probably want to get um, more of your fats in as well to support your joints, do your exercise. So that would be more avocado, nuts, seeds would be a good way. Notice I'm not saying you need to eat bacon. I'm not saying you need to eat a steak for breakfast, even if you are an athlete, because all of these things are just gonna make you feel stodgy in the morning. I'm not saying you can't eat steak in the afternoon, but I wouldn't recommend starting the day with steak, really. Um, Again, if you do, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you're an athlete looking to optimizing for performance rather than health, um, I wouldn't recommend it if you are optimizing for health. So, there's lots of gray areas in this conversation because, and this is why I say the best. What are you optimizing for? I can't tell you what the best is if you don't know what you're optimizing for. Um, so Jesse's kid even. I've quit almost all my sugar intake because of you. Well, thank you, appreciate that.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
I, I mean, yeah, I'll take it as a compliment. So, thank you. Is lemon water good for
Oh no,
breakfast?
yeah, you've saved my life.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, very humbled to hear you say that. Um, is lemon water good for breakfast? Lemon water is a great way to start the day. So I
Yes, to
do
be clear.
I do recommend lemon water in terms of starting the day with it. I wouldn't say it's a breakfast as such because it doesn't really have um, any kind of calories. It doesn't set you up for the day. If you're fasting, fine, but if you're not, I would. It's just a good way to start the day because it sets your stomach acid upright. It sets all of your digestive tract upright for what you are going to eat after. So that's where I'd recommend the lemon water. I guess if you want to call that breakfast, technically, because that would be the first thing you eat in the day, fine. But I'm not saying, drink a glass of lemon water and, go through the rest of your day for hours just off the lemon water. That's not what I'm saying. So, um, yeah, that's what I would say to that one. We've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent on sugar, so let's take it back to the sugar.
Just to say the spin giveaway
Oh
is
yes,
a 50% off code.
50% off code on giveaway. Cool. So there will be another one later in the show, but this is the first one. So 50% off code. I am three winners for this one. So in terms of winning this giveaway, if you send in your email to the chat, whichever chat you're on, then Jade can send you the code. Is that how we did it last time? Otherwise, other people use it. Yeah. Or yeah, we'll make a code, and then if you send your email, we can make it specific to your.
Last time it was if you pick the winners, we send the email, we pin the email, they email us, and we give them the code. That's how it was last time.
We pin the email.
Yeah. So you say who the winners are, we pin the email so that they know where to email us, and they email us to
Oh,
say
okay.
what they want.
Cool. Um, that's
Or I could just write down their usernames and
Yeah.
send them a
All
message.
right. We'll pick one. Yeah. We'll pick one winner each. So three winners. You can pick two, Jade, and then I can continue talking. So, I mean, I would be remiss not to pick Jesse's kid since she said I saved her life. So, you more than that giveaway prize from me. Not to say the only way to win giveaways is to shower me with praise.
Can't exactly see it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let Jade pick, but
Congratulations.
so yeah, if
I'll
you
pick.
Jade will write the email, and then you can just send an email, and well, no, Jade will just send you a DM. That's probably
Yeah,
easier.
send in. I'll pick Jessica
Jessica
Casa.
nine.
Is that Jessica
Oh, Jessica
Sa?
Casa
Jessica.
nine
Okay.
six seven four. Congratulations. Code will be sent to you 50% off. Maybe it's someone from TikTok, since we've done two from Instagram. Or maybe Facebook. Actually. We don't really do Facebook. Let's show Facebook some love.
Okay.
um, let's do Toby. Toby's been active in the chat. Cool. Congratulations, Toby. 50% off code coming your way. Hey guys, if you want.
That made it a little difficult, Toby. So I'll pop the email address in.
Okay.
Toby.
Toby, if you're struggling to receive the DM because Messenger is a bit more tricky, then just post your email address and we'll get an email out to you with it. So yeah, congratulations to competition winners. Look, guys, if you want to increase your chances of winning a competition, always helps to contribute, always helps to post in the chats. We do monitor the chats, so if we see your name, it's easier to say it. So yeah. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving. So congratulations to competition winners. There will be another giveaway later in the show. So yeah, we got stuck on a bit of a tangent. I say stuck, it's good conversation, so it's not stuck. But we got on a bit of a tangent in terms of mistake one, which was starting the day with starch. So we've had some good conversations around breakfast, and hopefully that's given people a bit more guidance in terms of how you can think about shaping your breakfast for you. And it's not to say, oh, Toby sent his
Okay.
email. Might call him Tony, so apologies if I did call you Tony.
Thanks, Toby.
So yeah, I mean, Laura Campbell, just seen the question. So peanut butter, remember though, you don't know how much oil is in it. Not nut butters are like this. Yeah, with the nut butters, you want to try and keep them as much nut as possible, as opposed to other ingredients, palm oil, other additives. I mean, I'm allergic to nuts, so I don't really, I don't really do nuts. Jade is more the nut expert on the panel here. But yeah, if you don't want to do nut butters, then
Finbar.
Finbo, yeah. If you don't want to do nut butters, then yeah, you can just nut mixes. So trail mixes, seed mixes. Seeds are also a really good way to get the fats in if you're allergic to nuts
Yeah,
as
they do
well.
seed butters. No, I actually put them in one of my emails recently.
Okay, seed butters as well. So yeah, lots of options. And you yeah, with the coconut yogurt as well, if you want to get more fats in that way, or healthier fats in that way as well. And then that opens it up to add more things in. So then you can add your milk thistle seeds, you can add your fruits, you can add your blueberries, you can add your honey, you can add lots of different things. So and even if you don't want to do the fat that way, then you can use things like coconut yogurt to get that fat in. And if you're adrenally fatigued, particularly, that's really helpful. But okay. So mistake number two, and it kind of touched on it already a little bit, but actually before I move on, because Jesse Casa, who was a competition winner, so I'll answer this question. So best breakfast for autistic children. Now, I've actually written a lot of content on this. I've written a guide on this. So Jessica even, I don't know if you've read the guide or received the guide. I think today's post actually, if you write the word on the post, then you can receive the guide for free. But yeah, in terms of best breakfast for an autistic child, it depends whether they are glutamate positive or negative. So not negative, glutamate dominant or not. So if they're glutamate dominant, it would mean they're more prone to be hyperactive. They are less resistant to cortisol. Their kind of their nervous system is in overdrive more so. So if that's the case, you want to have foods that or a breakfast that is more calming. So sweet potato is what you kind of want on the plate. Um, the coconut yogurts, the olive oil, those types of foods on the plate beneficial just to help buffer the other foods. Fruits are also beneficial in the morning as well. If you are going to do green juices, I'd recommend doing a green shot instead. So you're still getting the healing compounds, but not in a way that's kind of taking the brakes off the nervous system. You can do, so yeah, broccoli sprouts, kale, spinach. Cook it first if you are going to do green juices. So If you are going to do green juices, then cook it first. Um, oh, okay. Jessica said she's already ordered. So, all right. We'll think of give me some time to think of a different way to give you that giveaway then. Or you could just use it for the next order, I suppose.
So
Um,
someone on TikTok said, "Where can I get the guide?" As Lee just said, latest post on Instagram. If you comment under that, a guide will be sent to you via DM.
yeah. So yeah, so breakfast for an autistic child, I would say you definitely want to get fats in. You definitely want to use a calming root vegetable like amazing. You definitely want to use a calming root vegetable like sweet potato, pumpkin, butternut squash. You definitely want to, if you are going to do green vegetables, do them in the morning, not the evening. Because if you do it in the evening, it's more likely to take the brakes off. The oxalates are more damaging. It's going to ruin melatonin. It's going to mess up sleep. It's going to increase the chances of a meltdown. So that's really important as well. Um, and again, you don't want to do anything that's going to spike cortisol. So,
Sorry, Jessica will send it to you after the session. That's when I can get to the DMs.
um, yeah, apologies, Jessica, because all devices are in use now to try and use the VPN and everything. So, yeah, mistake number two. So, confusing fruit with other sugars, confusing fruit as bad, or just listening to all sugar is bad, and thinking that is not the case. So, is fruit bad? No. Is fruit bad for diabetes? No. Is fruit bad for autism? No. Is fruit bad for candida? No. Is fruit bad for SIBO? Generally, no. Is fruit bad for, any of these conditions where they say fruit is bad? Fruit is not the problem. The sugar in fruit is not the problem. Now, can you overdo it? Yes, that's possible. Are there situations where fruit can be problematic or worse than the issue? That is possible. But is fruit generally bad in these situations? No. Is there such a thing as an unhealthy fruit? No. So, um, you know, that's a really important distinction to make when they're talking about diabetes, and I suppose this would probably be mistake number three, but 2.5 maybe when people get sidetracked on the glycemic index of a food. Oh, watermelon has got a high glycemic index. I can't eat it. Oh, this food has a high glycemic index. I can't eat it. You also need to think about glycemic load. Watermelon is fine because the glycemic load is so low. The reason why glycemic index is a problem because foods like white pasta, which would be high on the glycemic index, yes, they spike blood sugar, but they're also high glycemic load, which means they spike blood sugar, they spike it for a prolonged period, and then it crashes a lot. With watermelon, yes, it's a high glycemic index, which means it spikes, but it normalizes straight away. Not a problem. Not a problem. Also, the sugar in watermelon doesn't require as much insulin to actually get into your cells. So the reason why glycemic index is relevant is because of the burden it produces on insulin. Now, if you have fruits that are high in fructose, fructose doesn't require insulin to enter cells. So it completely bypasses the issue. Now, this is when I said, imagine that worker who HR front and desk is making sure everybody, well, that was fake fiber, I suppose, but fructose, I just said, is an active self-starter that just wants to get to work. In most work environments, it's going to just do its job and work and work and work for you. That is what fruit is. Now, there are some situations, there are some work environments where even the best employees can't, operate. That can happen. That can happen. But that doesn't mean the employee is bad. And this is the same thing with the fruit. If you have got one of those situations where the fruit is not performing for you, the fruit is not the issue. We need to change the work environment. That's what needs to change. We need to fix the gut dysbiosis. We need to fix the hypoxia. That's what needs to happen there. So just to summarize, fruit is not bad. And then I guess mistake number three. So, and I kind of touched on this one already, but um, the fruit is sorry, not the fruit. The we can't ignore the nuance of your metabolic state. And I say that again because it is so important. Um, if someone is eating pineapple and blow up like a balloon every time they eat pineapple, it's probably because they've got, a sensitivity to histamines. It's probably because they've got some, you know, gut bacteria that is going gnarly, maybe some H. pylori or streptococcus that's reacting to the bromelain, and during that die-off, it's causing inflammation. That does not mean the pineapple is the problem. It doesn't mean that at all. If you've got you eat coconut and you feel discomfort after, it's probably because that monolaurin in the coconut is killing off the streptococcus, and again, that die-off causes inflammation. If you're someone who eats apples and you react badly to them, it might be that you're reacting to the herbicides and pesticides that's on the film of that apple. Nothing wrong with the apple, but that's just the industry. So we really need to separate what are the farming methods, what are the industrial issues, versus what the actual fruit is doing for us. What are issues in terms of our workplace going on inside our body that we need to fix, that we can then start using the herbs efficiently? Let's not just blame the fruit. Let's try and understand what's wrong with us that the fruit is trying to fix and having a hard time doing so. The fruit is always a good employee. We just might have a bad workplace. Go on, Jade.
So I saw an interesting video the other day. I think it only counts for the UK, so I'm not sure if it's country dependent, but there are specific numbers that are on stickers on fruit, and that tells you what it's been sprayed with. So I think like it's between usually 1, 4, I think it's 6, maybe an 8. I could be wrong. I'll try and find the video, maybe repost it. But it shows you if something is organic, it shows you if it's a pesticide, it shows you if it's essentially good for the body or not. So I'll try and find the video and repost it.
Yeah, it's interesting because, there's so much information there. And the interesting thing about this, thank you, Pam. The interesting thing about this health industry, they make the regulations so that they have to disclose these things, but then because these are billion-dollar industries that don't want to stop doing things that are making themselves so profitable, they wrap their secrecy in plain eyes. So they will use codes like what Jay just said. No one knows what the number 9 on this
Mm.
Apple sticker means, but hey, they've come out and said it. They've disclosed exactly what it is. You see natural flavoring on a food, um, you assume, because why wouldn't it be? It's a natural flavoring. But actually, in the small print, it says, well, natural flavoring, 5% of the food, and everything is derived from the non-harmful, da 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 da. That's not natural. When we look at what was the other one I was gonna say?
You froze the cream or
No, I was gonna
something.
say when they do labels like no added sugar, it's so misleading because it's just full of sweetener. This health, and I'll call it this health food, and anything with a fancy label. I think I've said this before, but anything with a fancy label, anything that's saying sugar free, no added sugar, anything that's saying vegan, anything that has healthy written on it, best believe it's not. Best believe it's not healthy. Yes, it will be vegan, but it's not healthy. Yes, it will be no added sugar as they define it, but yes, surprise, surprise, sweetener is still sugar. It's just actually it's a more cancerous form of sugar. It doesn't spike your blood sugar, but it will spike your cancer risk. So I'll let you choose which one's more dangerous. So look, it's an industry full of lies. It's a industry. Is that, did you say industry? Yeah, industry full of lies. It's an industry full of deceit, and it's almost like a language within a language. You have to learn how to decode. And unfortunately, the more that you've um, the more that you've researched, the more skeptical you are, and the less things you can eat. Um, and look, as I always say, and I like to make this very clear, my diet isn't perfect. I don't claim to live a perfect diet. I don't claim to live a perfectly clean lifestyle. I think it's important to understand where you are being cheated. I think it's important to understand where you are being lied to, so that not to be perfect, but it's so that you can make informed decisions about, where you want to pay the piper, so to speak. As I say, if I eat a burger, I want to know what that damage is doing. I don't want to be buying healthy, sugar-free food, thinking, yes, I'm sugar-free, I'm sugar-free. I drank my Coke Zero today, sugar-free, and then I had a Diet Pepsi, yeah, sugar-free, and then I had sugar-free tonic water, and then I had a sugar-free. What? Read the book about sugar, pure white and deadly food industry in there. But yeah, when you go through the day, oh, I had a vegan this, a vegan tofu burger, and then I had a fat-free chips and sugar-free potatoes and all this kind of stuff. You know, you end up thinking that you're living this healthy lifestyle and you're being lied to because at every single meal you're either eating sweetener, aspartame or sweetener or toxic chemicals or heavy metals or just fake or just straight fake food. So, you know, the reason how I apply this knowledge, how I apply this to my lifestyle, it's not to be scared of, eating bad things because toxins are all around us. Toxins are unavoidable. Heavy metals are unavoidable. Fats are unavoidable. That's cool. If you're someone who wants to apply this knowledge and never eat anything toxic again, more power to you. But for me, it's about I want to know if I'm making an unhealthy choice, I want to live in that unhealthy choice and enjoy that unhealthy meal. If I'm eating something that is healthy, I want to make sure I'm eating something that is legitimately healthy. So if I'm eating a salad, yeah, if I'm eating a salad, then yeah, I want to make sure that I'm actually getting the right nutrients in the salad. So I'm making sure I'm adding quinoa. I'm making sure I'm adding that sweet potato. I'm making sure I'm adding a bit of grape. I'm putting a bit of apple in that salad. I'm putting some kale in there. I'm putting some spinach in there. I'm putting a little bit of salmon in there. I want that. I want that thing to be as healthy as possible. So when I am making healthy decisions, I'm making truly healthy decisions. And again, I use that term healthy specifically for me because, if I'm someone who has heavy metals exposure, I'm probably not putting that salmon in there. Or if I am putting that salmon in there, I'm also adding some coriander because I want to offset that mercury exposure. But instead of salmon, I might put some avocado if I want some fats in there. If I'm instead of salmon, I might put some chicken in there because if I still want the protein, but I don't want the mercury, then hey, that's going to be healthier for me. So this is where it's important to understand what's your situation. Do you care about protein? Because again, you don't need protein to be healthy, but you might just want the protein. That's perfectly fine too. So, it's not about everything being perfect. It's about having the knowledge to make informed decisions for yourself.
However, I'm going to tell you a controversial thing. Coke Zero will do nothing towards being healthy. So
Again, there's
if you're
some
having Coke Zero, you might as well just have the Coke.
if there's some things where yeah, and that's the distinction. If you're someone who loves Coke, don't and you this thing Coke Zero tastes horrible, but you're drinking Coke Zero because you think it's healthier. Just enjoy Coke in moderation. Less Coke, but enjoy it in less frequency. The amount of times you just see people getting through 2, 3 cans of Coke Zero a day in the office, it was shocking. And these would be 40 to 50-year-old, generally white men. That's what it was in the office that I was in, at least. And they would drink probably. It's funny because I think, to be fair to them, they'd come off a history, legacy. They'd probably drink a pint at dinner and then a couple of pints after work. So that's where they were before. And then they've come on to now I'm going to be healthy. So now I'm only going to do pints on a Thursday. And then I'm not going to drink Coke in the office anymore. I'm going to drink my Coke Zero. And then they drink three Coke Zeros through the day. And then they drink 2 coffees to get through the meetings. And then,
Me
they,
too. It's
and then
fine.
they would grab a salad at lunch. I give them that. It was very good on the salad at lunch. And then the
Partial to a biscuit.
biscuits,
Mm.
and then it'd be the pints after work. And what I'm saying there is, you need to understand what is true healthy and what is just marketing. So none of that is actually healthy. And if the salad was, but if you're going to do healthy, do healthy. Otherwise, just enjoy your indulgences. But we can move on from that point now. Okay.
Shall we do our second? Oh, you rank foods first and then
Yeah,
do the
we
second
got
one?
carried away on that one a little bit.
Mm.
So we'll do the rank the foods, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll start wrapping up, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a chance to get a bit more interactive. So yeah, guys, if you have and then I'll do a little bit of Q&A as well, but it is quite late. I have seen the FND question, so I will answer that one as well. I did see the eye question come in as
Yeah,
well.
it
So
was a long time.
what can I do for
Yeah,
eyes?
it's basically for eyes, better eyesight, and they got dry eyes and eye drops, and a hot compress doesn't work. So what can they
If
get for
hot
eyes,
comfort
please?
doesn't work. So yeah, butterfly blue tea is what I'd recommend. I would compress, hot compress butterfly blue tea. I would also drink butterfly blue tea. I would also use astragalus. Astragalus will be coming to the site in next week or two, but that's the best thing for your optical nerves, the best thing for your auditory nerves as well. Eye Bright is another good option. We don't sell that one, but you can use that as well.
Just to,
Um,
sorry, just to, oh, okay.
Riff, is this on the eyesight?
Yeah.
Go on.
Just to add to that, if you are doing butterfly blue tea, do massage your eye as well. I think a lot of people just put hot water compress in and just think that would do the trick, but you also need to massage your eyes as well.
Yeah. Cure for epilepsy. We don't use the words cure because it's more of an allopathic term. It's not cure, it's support the body to heal because implies it's like a magic pill and it's just going to do all the work for you. The herbs help your body to heal, but you still need to eat the right things. You still need to do the work. So support is a better word. Support for epilepsy. So I'd recommend our ADHD kit or it's the Focus kit on TikTok. I don't think we're allowed to pin products on TikTok right now. But yes, the Focus kit, if you go to our TikTok shop, it's there, or you can find it on the website. But that is got the herbs in there basically to get rid of the heavy metals, which is what's causing the issue, and also repair damaged brain neurons, which is also causing the issue. So that is what I would recommend for you. But yeah, guys, time to get a bit more interactive. So I thought no, I'll just do a bit more Q&A now. Well, I'll answer the question so that there's less of it at the end. So the FND question. So FND is not support. So you want lion's mane, you want Brahmi, you want to support the heavy metals that are probably inflaming the nerves as well. So that's going to be spirulina. You also probably want black seed oil to support the nerves as well. So I would say spirulina, black seed oil, Brahmi, and lion's mane. Okay, so I thought I did see a few more. I'll continue, and if I come back to it at the end, I'll come back to it. I get brain fog and hair fall. What can I take, please? So yeah, brain fog, the same protocol. Lion's mane, Brahmi. Hair falling out is the same issue because it's an adrenal issue. So you can use botana butter as well on that to support the hair strands itself. But yeah, you want lion's mane and Brahmi. Okay, ashwagandha as well. So this is the chance to get a bit more interactive, guys. So um, I'm going to be ranking foods. So ranking different, I guess more specifically, the sugar aspect of different foods. So are these a good source of sugar, essentially? So if you do have any foods that you're not sure about, then please do let me know. If you are eating foods and you're wondering, is it good, is it not, then uh, yep, let me know. Put the name of the food in, and I'll rank it out of 10 and explain it. Um, Jade was just scrolling up, and I saw the comment. That was is it Said or Sade?
I think so.
Sade. Sade, great to hear we helped you avoid the ADHD diagnosis. It'd be fantastic to hear more about that, actually. It'd be great, even in the DMs, to just talk through that. And we're doing so much work on ADHD and autism. It'd be great to hear your experiences and maybe even share that as part of our, share it more widely, just share the story. But yeah, so if you are having any or would like any all right, so I'll come back to that one. So yeah, anyone has any you want me to rank, put them in now. So yeah, we've got some that we've already had. Blueberries. So blueberries would score a probably a 10. on the sugar
You
scale.
never say 10.
I never say 10, but blueberries are so unique because the brain wants glucose. They tell you the brain wants fat, but actually the brain wants glucose. The liver wants glucose. These are your two most important organs in terms of no, they are your two most important. Obviously, you wouldn't live without lungs, you wouldn't live without the heart. That's fine. But the health of the heart is dictated by the health of the liver. The health of the lungs will generally take care of themselves unless you're actively going out of your way to damage them, like smoking. The health of the brain, though, and the health of the liver are the ones that are most chronically damaged by our day-to-day decisions, and they are the ones that are the brain is obviously your brain, the liver is your second brain. The liver is so intelligent, it knows if you eat birthday cake every year on your birthday, and it will give you a bit extra bile every year on your birthday because that's how its memory works. It is essentially your second brain. So these are your two most important organs, and they both need glucose. Blueberries are a source of glucose for both of those organs. Blueberries can cross the blood-brain barrier as well to help cleanse the brain, to open up the lymphatic system. No, I don't think there is any condition on the planet that blueberries do not help in a big way. In a big way as well. I don't just mean, they're mild support. Most things are significantly helped by blueberries because they support mitochondria, they give glucose, they cleanse the liver, they cleanse the brain. I can't think of a condition that isn't affected by those two factors.
Someone on one of the other platforms asked, is it better to eat them as they come, frozen, or in a juice?
Um, if it's wild blueberries, kind of not juice, it would be the worst out of the three. Frozen or as they come is completely fine, either or. No issue doing either. Greek yogurt was a question. So Greek yogurt is going to be lower in sugar, but it is high in dairy. So from a sugar perspective, I would say quite low, but from a health perspective, I would also say it scores quite low. So um, I'm not an advocate of Greek yogurt. I'd say coconut yogurt is infinitely better. So I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. I thought I saw another one. Where was it? Blueberries. Yeah, so that's a great breakfast. Blueberries, Brazil nuts, walnuts. Um,
Agave?
oh, was it Pink Lady apples?
Mm.
So, Pink Lady apples for glucose. Yeah, I would give that a solid 8 out of 10. Great sauce, wrapped in minerals as well. So you're able to actually use that glucose. It's a protected form of glucose. It's not going to ferment into lactic acid, uric acid in the same way as some other sugars would. So yes, 8 out of 10 on the
Apples?
apples. Did you say agave?
Yeah.
Okay. So agave, I would actually give a sorry, I would actually give a 8.5 out of 10 if I was giving honey a 9. The reason agave scores so high is because it's 90% fructose. So as we said before, fructose doesn't need to be absorbed by so fructose can be absorbed into the cells without glucose, sorry, without insulin. So that means it doesn't spike your insulin. It's not dangerous for people with diabetes. It still tastes good. You don't need to use a crazy amount of it. So yeah, I would actually recommend um, agave as a sugar source if you are going to do that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it more than honey because I still do recommend honey more. Even though honey has a lower fructose percentage, but honey has a broader set of minerals, which means it's digested slightly better than agave. But I'd give one an 8.5 and one a 9. So yes, that's how I would break down agave syrup. Um, Slightly off topic, but someone said protein without animal, how to build muscle without animal protein. So that's why you're going to be using more plant-based protein like lentils, chickpeas. You can use sattu powder, which is essentially blended chickpeas, but it's 25, I think it's 25 or I forget, 25 or 40% protein, but you can definitely use that. Spirulina is a rich source of protein. I was getting mixed up. One of them is 25, the other one is 40%. But yeah, spirulina is a fantastic source of protein as well. So you can use all of these different things to help build muscle mass without animal protein. Um, oops. What was that one? Dates. So yeah, dates is a really good one. Really good for the adrenals as well, especially when you mix it with nuts.
Oh, peanut butter.
So dates, I would score a eight. The only reason why I score eight, the only reason why I score dates an eight is because it's still in the raisin family. So raisins are higher sugar. So I wouldn't go crazy with them. I wouldn't eat loads and loads of dates like you could with blueberries. You could just eat them non-stop. So dates, I would score maybe a seven because yeah, I wouldn't recommend too many dates. But they are potent, they are good, and they are healthy, and they are great for the adrenals. Granola made with just nuts. Sorry. Granola made with just nuts, seeds, honey. Perhaps make your own plant-based milk. So I don't know if that's a question in terms of rank it, but a granola with just nuts, seeds, and honey would probably score a eight on the scale again. Very good. Mix of fat, sugar, or glucose, I should say, high quality glucose. The seeds are adding minerals, so that would be a solid, probably even a nine actually, a solid nine on that one. Um, Frosties. Frosties would score a big old zero.
Zero.
Yeah, not
I
anything.
think it contains about 30 grams of sugar per bowl. Something like
30
that.
grams of sugar,
It's,
golly.
something ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of sugar you want to avoid, Frosties. So Frosties, Cocoa Pops,
Rice
I mean,
Krispies.
because you know Rice Krispies, you look at it and say, oh, but you know, it's just rice. What's so bad about Rice Krispies? The problem is most, and I say kids because mostly kids eat Rice Krispies, but kids are not eating Rice Krispies by itself. They're usually adding sugar to it, and that's the problem. And even tea. If you're drinking breakfast tea in the office, you're drinking coffee. Yes, the coffee is bad, and even normal tea contains quite a lot of caffeine, but it's the sugar that actually makes it bad. Not many people are just drinking black tea; they're adding sugar to it.
That's perfect for
Yeah,
breakfast.
crazy. So 100 grams of uh, frosties or frosted flakes, if you're not doing brand names, then would be 35 grams of sugar. So that's why we don't do that.
That's the same as in a can of Coke.
Is that how much? I
30
thought
grams in
24 was in a
is it
gram.
24? Oh.
Maybe a bottle would be 35.
Mm.
But yeah, yes, okay. So, is there one? But I should, so, if you're using a MCT creamer for your coffee, I'm not really a coffee drinker, so let me just see what's in it.
Was it creamer?
MCT, I mean, generally creamers are full of synthetic
Yeah,
sugars,
it's usually powdered and stuff, isn't it?
but I just want to make sure because I'm not familiar with an MCT creamer. Uh, uh, 1 second. I will answer this one. Um, so, all right, here we are. So MCT cream is a
Oh, it's
coffee cream that
collagen.
includes, yeah, MCT. Oh, Jesus, sorry, this internet is yeah, here we are. So, based with coconut milk powder or acacia fiber, um, caprylic acid from coconut palm kernel. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is a better option. This is a much better option. The sweetness is coming from coconut, so that's a natural sweetness. The MCT, one of the cleaner oils as well, goes directly into the liver. So it doesn't really require up and down. Yeah, I'll be at six. There's nothing healing about it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's definitely better than a standard creamer. that I've been seeing in these seeing in these hotel rooms. Um, so is all right. We'll move on to the Q and A. Okay. So, Sade, oat milk or almond milk in terms of sugar? Um, I don't have it. I don't really do the alternative milks. I don't really do milk. So it's not something I have a strong view on. I would just say choose the one that has less sugar on the side of the bottle.
No
Um,
sugar, no oils.
no sugar, no
All
oils.
added. Your plant-based milk should have no more than 3 to 4 ingredients. If it
3 to 4
does, it's
ingredients.
rubbish. Don't use it.
I would assume oat milk would be higher in sugar, just because it's a grain that breaks down into sugar. Even though oats aren't bad for sugar and they're actually pretty good. So I assume it would be higher in sugar, but I imagine it depends on the brand. So I would just look at the side of the bottle. I would be surprised if the almond milk had more sugar.
So it depends, because some brands add sugar.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. Naturally, almond milk shouldn't have more sugar, but of course, if they add it for flavoring, then it could end up anywhere. So Sade, please tell me if I'm getting that wrong as well. But it won't allow me to send. But I will. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. That feedback. That'd be great. Um, okay.
So second giveaway.
Yeah, I think we can. Hopefully, that helps frame the types of sugar you want to include in the types. I mean, sorry, let me just say some other honorable mentions on the sugars. So mangoes would be a fantastic source of sugar. You know, green vegetables aren't. Well, yes, if you Google are they high in sugar, the answer will be no. But what they are rich in is fiber, and fiber is still sugar. But the role of fiber is to support food on the way out of the system, bulk stool, help it move along the digestive tract. So even though it's not standard sugar, it's fiber that will still score a 9 because we need that fiber, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. All the seeds, all the oats, again, great sources of fiber, which is why I would actually really score high and well on the sugar scale. Sweet potato, really good source of fiber again. So again, that would score very high. So you notice anything that's high in fiber, anything that's high in minerals, anything that's low in fat, these are the foods that are going to score off the scale on the sugar scale. That's why the broccoli does. That's why the sweet potato does. That's why the pumpkin does. That's why the oats do. So that's a nice rule of thumb. If it's high in minerals, if it's high in fiber, and it's colorful as well is always helpful. And it is not high in fat, it's going to be good on the sugar scale. It's going to be good on the sugar scale. And then you can just add your fats in separately. So your nuts, your seeds. Because yeah, I mean, sugar. That's why the seeds score really high on sugar scale. Okay, Jade. Second giveaway. You said. Okay. So I'll let you sort out, choose the giveaway. Won't spin the prize wheel. I need to figure out a better way to say it. Uh, nah, it's fine. We can just do that as that was. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll do a separate giveaway. Um, yeah. Sorry, guys. It's half two, and I can start kind of feel myself starting to flag. So I'm gonna have to bring this one to a close soon. I think we've done all the sessions. Yeah. So we'll do this giveaway, and then I guess we'll just do a little bit more Q&A, or probably start wrapping up, and then watch. Yeah. I'll start wrapping up, and then whilst Jay's picking the or
I've got 50% off code again. It landed on.
all right, let's do it again. Let's make it different. Um, so okay, so yeah, one of those. So I'll start wrapping up, and then see where the okay.
Okay, so 80% off.
80% off. Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough. Big discount today on the giveaway. So we'll choose two winners of the 80% off then, to say thank you for sticking with us. I think it's been a longer session than planned today. It was supposed to just be super tight coming into this one, so we just said we'll do 40 minutes. But as always, the questions have been coming, the interaction's been great. So we've been on lots of interesting tangents and come through. So yeah, now in 15 minutes. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'll let yeah, sure. So I'll let Jade announce the winners today of the 80% off. And yeah, I'll continue wrapping up.
Okay. So first winner will be Pam.
Pam, congratulations. You have won 80% off. I guess we've got your details, I think, so we can send that through to you. You know. Okay. Well, we'll send you a deal. Yeah, and I know what it is.
You know.
Yeah.
And Sade.
Sade, congratulations. I hope I'm saying that right. For the 80% off. We'll send that through. All right. Let's take a screenshot.
I'm trying it down.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did Pam just respond?
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations, Pam. Congratulations, Sade. A lot of people have joined since you last messaged. There you go. Okay. Oh, I'm getting it right. Sweet. Yeah, congratulations. We'll DM those codes to you once the live is finished because we, as I said, using all the devices. So yes, so guys, as I say, we do giveaways. If you didn't get a chance to win any of these two giveaways, don't worry. There's always next Wednesday. We'll be doing two more giveaways on Wednesday. It's not it's different every week. Sometimes it's full giveaways. Some Thursday even this week. We're traveling on Wednesday. So we are traveling on Wednesday, right?
We are,
Yeah. So sometimes it's giveaways. Sometimes it's big discounts. Sometimes it's free consultation. Sometimes it's other stuff, free
refunded
refunds.
order, yeah.
So yeah, all the more reason to join the show, stick with us, and stay around to the end. We want to reward you for being here and taking in the information and empowering yourself. So thank you. So yeah, Pam, I've just seen your message actually asking about the sugar, ranking the sugars. So oatmeal with blueberries, strawberries, and mango. Yeah, that is absolutely fine. That's a good meal. Oatmeal is fine as long as use a coconut milk, something like that. But the blueberries are great, as we've discussed. The strawberries and mango, great. That's fantastic. That's going to score a 9. The only thing that could even make that better, actually, no, if it's a milk, that's a big factor coming in. So, if it's water, if it's water oatmeal, then I would say they probably want water-based oats and add some nuts, some seeds, or some coconut milk, and I would just round it off with some fats, and that'd be great. Okay, so I didn't answer this Q&A, did I? So Patricia, any takes on someone with pituitary gland damaged and now suffering low thyroid adrenal issues? So if your pituitary gland is damaged, I'm assuming, are you saying that's caused the thyroid issues and the adrenal issues, and that would make sense because of the HPA, it's basically an axis that runs between those three glands to control your hormonal system. For the pituitary gland, depends what's caused the damage. Depends what's caused the damage for sure. Black seed oil can help. Shilajit has been known to help. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed to help, but we can address the thyroid issues more directly. We do actually have a thyroid kit. Ashwagandha can be helpful. Sea moss can be helpful as well. Issues, ashwagandha again. Brahmi can be helpful. Lion's mane can be helpful. Even outside of our herbs, maca root can be helpful. Rhodiola rosea can be helpful. Licorice root can also be helpful if you haven't got high blood pressure. So those are the different things I would look to try. As I say, we don't have a specific remedy for the pituitary gland. It depends what's caused the damage. Was it viral? Was it unknown? Did they just say, "Oh, prolactin's low. You've got pituitary damage"? Was it a feedback loop issue from excess hormones or excess androgens causing essentially overdrive to the pituitary gland? Let me know. or you can book a consultation if you don't have a chance to go through it fully today. But yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping up. So as I said, it's 2:30 now, and this is hour 5 of talking directly. So yeah, look, guys, I appreciate everyone joining always. Today's been a fun one talking about sugar. We can definitely go into this one in more detail or break it down a little bit more. There's so many different tangents we can go into, sugar in hypoxia, sugar in how sugar is fermented could be a whole different session again. So maybe we'll do, yeah, a session on the fermentation of sugar and different types of sugar and under different conditions. So many of us are sugar addicts. So many of us. I used to be a sugar addict. I'm glad to say I've kicked the habit, and thankfully, I don't even like the taste of sugar anymore. Um, Jade, and I'll say this, and I did tell them not to. Jade ordered a matcha yesterday. Naughty Jade. And I tried. She told me. She forced me to. I mean, I've got the picture to prove it. But she forced me to have a sip of.
To be fair, that was the wrong matcha. That was the one we didn't order.
It was, and one sip. It was about enough sugar in there to cause diabetes.
It was awful.
It was absolutely
And
ridiculous.
that was regular sugar,
So
apparently.
anyway,
Yeah,
the point is,
ridiculous.
once you kick that sugar habit, you can definitely stick with it, and you don't like the taste of sugar anymore. And there's other things you can use. Gurmar leaf is one we didn't talk about today as well. So that Gurmar leaf is fantastic for dulling your sugar cravings as well. If anyone is, I mean, we're talking a lot about sugar. If anyone is dealing with diabetes or insulin sensitivity issues, we do also have a kit. We do also have the diabetes kit. It's available on the website, so you can go and grab that. If any of our competition winners, you can use your discount code for that as well. But yeah, you can definitely use your go grab that if you are dealing with any of those issues. I thought I saw a comment come through. Was yes. So Bo's the Temalid. I don't know whether the spaces are supposed to be there. You talk about autism reverser. Please, can you send me details, sir? Love what you're doing. More blessings. Thank you. Yeah. In terms of the autism kit, we posted today. So you can just leave the comment support under that post on Instagram, and you will auto get sent the autism guide, which you can just have a read through. It gives you so much free information in terms of how to manage the condition, herbs you use to support the condition, what causes the condition, the diagnosis process, how to use green juices as part of the protocol, what foods to use, what foods to avoid, just daily habits to avoid. So much information in there, but I'm always adding to that guide as well. We're doing a lot of work in that space. So yeah, for sure, be sure to comment that, and you can get a lot of information and the herbs to use as well. Um, Right. Yes. I'm literally watching my eyes close as I've been talking for the last hour. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll try and be on earlier on Thursday, so that a bit more energy. But yeah, it was still a fun session today. Definitely had more energy than I thought I would, so that's great. And that's definitely thanks to you guys for all the comments and the feedback and keeping the session fun and interactive. So thank you again for that. Um, as I've been saying for the last couple of months, if you do have questions, if you do need support, I would recommend just using the chat function directly on the website. Don't use the Instagram inbox. We are better at responding now, I think. So if you have not received a response for a little while, or you find it takes too long, then please do just send a message on the chat function on the website. It's the quickest way to get our attention. I think I do need to do some Ask Me Anythings as well. So that's coming soon as well. I think I need to respond to a
We'll do
few.
some tomorrow.
Keep an eye out. There's lots of interesting updates coming. Do sign up to the Natural Healers in
On our
um,
page. On the
yeah.
Instagram page, yeah. It's underneath the bio. Natural Healers.
Corbiners, if you could send me an email, because you would have received the follow-up notes automatically. Well, I would have sent them, but it might have come from a different email. It would have been it would have been
There's a
so,
circle back.
yeah, circle back. So if you send me an email, I can resend those to you 'cause I'm not sure what your email is, depending when you had the consultation last year. But yeah, let me know. Um,
And yeah, so the competition winners, keep an eye out on your inbox. Hopefully, I won't fall asleep.
yeah.
But that will be coming shortly.
But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. Not sure what the topic will be yet, but keep an eye on the stories. And yeah, thanks again everyone for joining. And we'll speak again soon. Bye, guys.
Everyone.